Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Home victory here. This is what the doctor ordered, so to speak, to kind of get things back on track and get ready for the conference play.
Yeah. We want to be a team that, our opponent, our circumstances don't dictate how we played. And I think for the most part, we came out and played really hard. You got to keep moving forward as a football team, and that there's that situation where human nature can't set in, and I thought our guys took care of business. We got a lot of guys in the game today, so pleased with our performance.
And you continue to run the football with passion, over 900 yards in 3 games.
Yeah. I mean, both sides of the football, our ability to run the football and then stop the run is where it starts. I think we got a full complement of running backs right now, and that's probably what showed up as much as anything today. We need to keep feeding those guys. Obviously use our quarterbacks in a timely manner, but it was good to see those running backs get going today.
Defense got some turnovers for you today again, and even got a score, of course.
Yeah. It was good to see Rylan get in the end zone. I know Blake Stillwell had the interception earlier. Yeah, I thought our defense played hard. We gave up the long kick return, and they get a field goal out of that. We gave a couple plays in that 2-minute drive, but we hold them to 6. Really pretty dominant by and large that first half. And we got a lot of guys in that second half on both sides of the ball, and our building our depth. That missing piece a lot of times is guys playing in games. And so this game, and I know that first game against Utah Tech, a lot of guys saw action, and we're going to need that over the course of the season.
A little different look on the sideline. Taylor Housewright on the sideline, calling the game from there.
Yeah. It was a decision that he brought to me this, or an idea, I should say, he brought to me this week. And I think you can coordinate from both places. You can call plays from both places. I think for him an opportunity to communicate directly with the quarterbacks, probably in particular. So we'll see what he thought of it out of one game. But that was the decision there.
No Tommy today. I know he was kind of questionable going into this one. I guess what went into that decision to not play him at all today?
He's not ready. Pure and simple. It wasn't a deal where he could have gone necessarily. So, we'll see how that develops. Into next week. I thought Sean came out and played pretty well, and then to get Jordan in and play bulk of that second half. That's invaluable experience, and I'm certain there was some good. And he had 10 incompletions, so there's some bad with that too. So, there's his time will come at some point, and opportunities like today were invaluable.
I guess losing some of those other guys earlier this week, Caden in particular, what can you just sort of speak to that and help?
Yeah, Caden actually got dinged up in the game. I don't know if he really knew what it was, and then took it a little bit further in practice this week. So Caden will be out for the season. Zach Black will be as well. So it's the nature of the beast. Simeon we will get back. And we're hopeful at the time of call is turning the corner. We'll find out, I believe, this week on Junior Alexander. It's kind of where we're at right now, and pleased with the guys that have stepped up.
Was there ever any concern going into a game like this, knowing what happened last week and then going to Weber next week, that there might be any look ahead potential, or were you?
No, I think that's what you fight against. You fight against human nature. That's human nature. That's the way most people think. But in football, you get one chance to play each week, and again, it doesn't matter who, when, where. That's the mentality we have to have. And I think, whatever the score was at halftime, 41-6. I think that said we didn't take this team lightly, and we went after it. And that was the message all week. Our effort couldn't be any different against this team. In fact, it should be more, and our attention to detail needed to be more. And I think, by and large, that was the case today.
Jacob leading and receiving over 100 yards today. I guess curious what you saw out of him with his most action today.
Yeah, it was good for him to get that action. I think some good and bad there too. He is a talented kid, and he's still a kid, and that's just it. He's a true freshman. That these for the first 2 games, it was really only opportunities to touch the football were on those punt returns at South Dakota State. So to get some catches, to not catch every one at the same time, and then to on the punt return side to get a good return, but then not handle it correctly every time. Those are learning lessons that you only get on Saturday. So Jacob's going to be a guy that I know we're going to count on offense and in special teams, and certainly pleased with the bulk of what he did today.
Along that note, how did you feel about the progress in the pass game today?
Well, I think some really good things, and it's hard in games like that. You get up and you're somewhat guarded on exactly what you're going to do. I know another game where we didn't take a sack. I think that's where you look at the protection. Now we were faced with some pressures that I think at quarterback we got to handle better. I think Jordan has some real capability, but you can see inconsistencies. I think Sean, he handled it pretty well. And if it's a game where, we did throw it 30 times, but if Sean's thrown it 30 times, it'd be interesting to see what that would look like. But, some good and bad, and there was certainly intent with what we were doing.
Can you talk a little bit about the tight end group, just some great momentum plays? I feel like in that first half, a group that you talked a lot about going into week 1, made so much progress at fall camp. What you saw from them today?
Yeah, I know Derek had the long run and catch and run. I still didn't I don't know if we got Trayton involved at all. But yeah, excuse me, I know that's a group that can do a lot. And to this point, a lot of what they do is probably the unseen. Those two are formidable blockers, and then that's in line, that's on the perimeter. And then they're both capable of making plays. So, that'll have to pick up and continue as we move into conference play.
Scott Trade, 3 touchdowns for him today, all kind of feature within 7-5. You kind of see him as that back to kind of feature near the goal line, or is that more situational, I guess?
No, I think there's some real thought to that. He's a powerful young man, and we got to come up with schemes week to week that leverage what we do well, and trying to find an edge against the defense. So, he's definitely going to be part of that moving forward. Not that he won't play, say, between the 20s, but, his ability to find that end zone is certainly an ability that he possesses.
And then, along with some of those big runs, the blocks, Cleveland had a couple big ones, Derek had a couple big ones. I guess, what do you think of just, run blocking today?
Yeah, the perimeter piece to our scheme is not just the guys running fast. It's the guys blocking in front of them. I know Cleveland on Jared's long touchdown, I believe, that was sensational what he did. And like I talked about the tight ends, I think that's a big part of what they do is the perimeter blocking in addition to the in-line. I would imagine we'll walk away, and I think the O-line did a solid job, did what they're supposed to do, that type of thing. But yeah, it takes the whole crew in our run scheme, because we're trying to, stretch it horizontally the best we can, and you got to be dialed in on the perimeter.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach. Mm-hmm.
In just a few minutes, small business owners can now sign up for Blackfoot Communication Services. Whether it's dependable voice options or internet services, sign up simply by visiting blackfootsmallbusiness.com. Click on the services you wish, select an installation time and date, and you're done. Small business services at the touch of your fingers. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications and blackfootsmallbusiness.com.
They were running a little RPO, and I was kind of scraping over the top. I was going to take the back, and I think the QB pump faked it to one guy, and I just came in the window, and I kind of saw his eyes, and I was hoping he threw it, and ended up being in the right place. And then, the D-line was blocking for me. They blocked their butts off, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, what was it like to just turn and just see 3 guys right there, just kind of forming a wall?
It was pretty comfortable. I was like, I probably don't have to make anybody miss. Those guys are going to handle him, especially the QB, so.
Julius, your hurdle early in the game too. Can you describe kind of how you're feeling doing that?
So my goal this week was to stay on the ground. I didn't do that very well, but the O-line opened up a hole on our power play, and I just seen the hole, and I just reacted to the guy shooting his shot low, and I ended up clearing him. So
was that your goal because some of the other hurdles hadn't gone as well?
Running back Dr. Humphrey had 3 touchdowns. So just take me through, the whole group and another explosive performance this game.
It's awesome. Our running back room has so much depth. Everybody can play. You can see that when you cut on the TV or the film. And I'm so excited for all these guys because they continuously improve and work every week to get better, and you see that on the field. And Scotty, yeah, he's that dude.
Julius, I just wondered if you could talk to the run blocking, especially from guys like Cleve and Derek, and just especially kind of on the perimeter.
They take pride in that stuff, and vice versa. We block so they can get the ball. They block so we can get the ball. And I think that's what's very special about Montana State as a whole is everybody, regardless of special teams, defense, offense, we all complement each other very well, and we do it for each other, seriously. So.
What did you think of Sean kind of stepping into that full starting role today?
It was awesome. He was comfortable, made his reads, made his plays, and did what he did running. That's what he does too. But you saw a little bit of his arm as well. But he was very comfortable in that role. He's been training for that all year. So
I guess for both of you guys, I'll start with you, Julius, but how motivated and hungry were you to get back out on the field after last week?
Very. We had the saying is, you win or you learn. So we took last week as a learning experience. And no matter who we're playing, it's getting better. It's us versus ourselves. So it's like we look in the mirror and look at, okay, this is what we need to improve. And I feel like that's what we did this week. We looked at ourselves, took a real look, and then, okay, let's improve, and we did that. So.
Same question.
Yeah, same thing. I think, our mindset was, control what we can control, and that's us. That's us tackling, that's us blocking on offense, that's everything that we do, that's executing all the details and everything, controlling our effort. So I think it was just more about us this week and, getting things right in the ship from last week a little bit.
You guys, go ahead. You guys threw 30 passes today. Was that a point of emphasis this week, and how did you think that went?
It went very well. That was a point of emphasis. We wanted to get the ball just around to different people, just to build that confidence within the entire offense. And we did that and successfully did that for the most part. So I think, yeah.
Well, and you mentioned, win or learn, and you mentioned a couple things there, but anything else you kind of learned most from last week? It's
just really just being able to persevere through tough things. Like resilience is another thing that Coach Herron had put up in the weight room to look at, what is mental toughness. And that was something I felt like we did a very good job at. But it's like you can always improve at it and continuously over and over just, okay, good play, bad play, next play. Doesn't matter if it was good play. If you broke a 30-yard run, you still got 70 more yards to go. So it's just good play, bad play, next play.
Another tough injury pregame we found out about for the defense. But it seems like when somebody goes down, somebody else steps up. So what can you say about the depth of this defensive group?
Yeah, I think that we have really good depth, especially in the secondary. And I feel like this is the first time that we've had great depth in the secondary since I've been here. So that's a good thing to have. But it's just a next man up mentality. And, it's unfortunate for Caden that he has to go through that, and nobody ever wants that to happen. But we'll back him up. We're here for him and everything. But yeah, I think guys just see it as any single play, your number could be called. So you got to be ready to go out there, and that's why we practice like we practice in fall camp, spring ball, even in game weeks. Double repping. We got to build depth. Guys getting a lot of reps, a lot of dudes getting a lot of reps, and so everybody's getting better. And when their number's called, I trust anybody, that's suited up on that sideline to go out and make a play.
Your partner at safety, Polidor, has stood out this year. What can you say about him?
Yeah, Drew worked really hard all offseason, making the transition from corner to free safety, just learning the defense. And, he's just such a physical specimen. right? He can run, he can jump, he can cover, he can do everything. He tackles really well. And so I think the thing I've liked the most from him is his aggressiveness, coming downhill, fitting the run up, making tackles. If you cut the tape, he's always hitting somebody. He's flying over piles, and it just feels really good to have a guy like that back there with you.
I guess for both of you, conference play now starts on Saturday. What are you guys looking to take from the non-conference and what you learned into Weber State?
Yeah, I think just building on each week. You got to get better each week, especially in the Big Sky Conference. This is a gauntlet, and we got a lot of tough road games this year. But like Julius was talking about, we talk about mental toughness a lot. That's why we trained for all offseason, all summer. That's what we talk about. That's why we do the workouts that we do. They put us in tough situations. So when it comes to that, and it's the fourth quarter on the road in conference, that we're calm, we're prepared, and we feel like we've been there before.
Just like Ortt said, we're excited. We're ready to go. We got a lot to improve on, but we're gonna enjoy this win right now. But when that time comes next week, that's when we'll cut on the tape, learn. Not everything was perfect today. It went in our favor today, 100%. But there's some things we're gonna clean up to become a more explosive team on both sides, all phases of the ball, honestly. So.
Speaking of cleaning up, obviously a lot less false starts today. What was the kind of point of emphasis to clean that up? Was it scheme? Was it the plays being called? Communication? How was that cleaned up for today?
Honestly, it was just communication. We just kind of had it. First time this year that we've been in a stadium where it was an opposing team, and we couldn't really hear much. But we took that again as a learning experience to be able to, okay, how can we kind of change our snap count or do this with our plays that can help us have an edge, or at least eliminate that hidden yardage where we're losing yards that shouldn't be happening. But that was a huge emphasis. I think we did really good responding from that, because nobody wants to have 9-8 false starts. So.
Rylan, with Caden and some of the other guys obviously missing the defense, does that give you any more motivation? Are you thinking of those guys kind of when you're out there on defense today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't had an injury like that, but I know how it feels to miss some football games. And so, I kind of told some guys before the game, I was like, there's dudes that would give everything to be out here today. It might not feel like such a big game, but you only get so many opportunities in Bobcat Stadium. You only get so many opportunities to play football in your life, and for the Montana State Bobcats, and you don't know when it could end. And it puts it into perspective when you miss a little bit of time. You got to play every game, every play like it's your last. And so I was thinking of those guys. I try to be a support system for them just because I kind of know how they feel a little bit. So I try to keep them up and be there for them.
Well, good.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm attorney Dave Maldonado, a seasoned litigator with over a decade of experience in Montana. Have you been injured in a car accident? If so, remember insurance companies want to give you as little money as possible. There's a reason why they have the biggest buildings in the largest cities. Don't let big insurance bully you. Visit BigSkyDefender.com today to see how I can help you get fair compensation for your injuries. The consultation's free and the fight's real.